And now for something completely different.
So our trip started in Dallas-Fort Worth, and we flew airline up to Detroit, and from there we picked up a regional, or whatever you call it, from Detroit and headed up to Pellston, Michigan. This was kind of the easiest way for us. Pellston is actually kind of a neat little airport, very rustic and all that. It's almost as if you're in a hunting lodge. I think 1 or 2 gates, pretty much everything you need. Once you get to Pellston, we only got so far, and in order to get up to Mackinac area, we took a shuttle, very reasonable, and it was a shuttle bus, so we took that up to Mackinac City. As we were doing our initial planning on the trip, we figured we were not sure as far as the timing, what kind of availability we have, so we ended up with some extra time in Mackinac City and checked out the local parks and things like that. There's lots of things to do there. As it was toward the end of the season, for us it was a lot of things were closed down. There's a lot of little shops and all that. Very touristy. It was kind of coming on Halloween and all that, but it was a lot of things were closed, but very nice weather and all that. But checked it out. Very touristy kind of place. That night we ended up going out getting something to eat at a local place. Next morning we ended up walking from the hotel with our bags, didn't have much, and then we were experiencing the Shepler Ferry. Very, very efficient setup. Trip over, you'll see the Mackinac Bridge, the Big Mac, the Mighty Mac. The Shepler Ferry, very nice, clean, extremely well organized deal. And then we're slowly coming into the Mackinac Island environs and our first view of the shoreline and all that. Very very neat looking. Then coming into the harbor, it was windy, and if you're up on deck, we were up on deck to kind of get the whole thing, and lots of wind. Then we ended up coming out on the main drag, and kind of neat to see. Our bags went directly to our lodging, which was the Windermere Hotel, and then we were ensconced in the Mackinac Island State Park and all of that. So that day we ended up doing some walking and whatnot. Walked up to the fort, checked all of that stuff out. Very neat. Gets a excellent view, kind of an overview of the whole island, the city and all of that stuff. So you kind of get a very nice view. Neat fort, some living history stuff going on there. They even have some refreshments, a little cafe and whatnot. They are very open to folks taking pictures, which is nice to see for a change. So Fort Mackinac was very, very nice setup. Very pretty settings and all that. Seeing all the outbuildings and whatnot, but very nicely done fort. Different parts of the fort, you can see different parts of the island. You can even see over toward the Grand Hotel and whatnot. So very worthwhile to go check that out. Put your walking shoes on and you'll see quite a bit of the island. Very, very picturesque. In addition to that, they also had, as I mentioned, some living history stuff and quite informative, sporadically going on throughout the day, so kind of neat to see. We also went over to the Grand Hotel. We did not stay there, however, we checked it out, went for some drinks and refreshments during our visit. So it's very approachable, very visitable. Neat little museum inside also, worthwhile checking out for some of the movies that had been filmed there. So lots of history of the Grand Hotel, going back to its origin, and then again also the various movies and films that were done on the island there. Another neat thing is seeing some of the ore freighters going past the island. So if you're into old ships and whatnot, it's very, very neat to see those occasionally go by. And as we were walking about on this trip, we checked out Skull Cave and then the arch in the rock. These are some of the topographical features from some of the Indians or some of the local Ojibwe tribes or whatnot. There's a British forts. There's a lot of British and American activity as far as the Revolutionary War, War of 1812 and all that. So lots of neat history to see. Lots of signs out there to check out. Very picturesque areas. Fort Holmes is up on top of one of the hills. They've recreated that quite nicely, so definitely worthwhile checking out those things. Check out all the signs. Some of the signs have different information on both sides, but also check out all signs. Tons of stuff to read, lots of information. Arch Rock is a very picturesque area, big photo stop for everyone. You can actually go climb on it. Here we're walking down the stairs from Arch Rock. We're not walking up the stairs. There's something like 207 steps. We're walking down. We walked a long way up to Arch Rock, and now we're walking down because it's easier. So this is the first week of October. As you can see, it is very, very quiet out here. Kind of nice, no crowds. Leaves are starting to turn. Absolutely beautiful out. So definitely a good time to come. Downside is some of the stuff is starting to close, so keep an eye out on schedule and that kind of stuff. Now we're walking back to the downtown area around the east side of the island. Kind of like from the 3 o'clock position down to around 6 o'clock on a clock, if you were. Kind of nice to see a lot of different lodging places, private residences. Also gives you some time to read a lot of the plaques and things like that in the parks. If you just want to sit on the grass and read a book, it's also a great opportunity to do that and kind of watch the world go by. But very, very relaxing. Ended up back at the Windermere, kicking back, checking out the things going on. Sort of neat to see the pier where the ferry comes in when no one is there. You can just kind of walk around there, check it out, take some pictures. On this day we decided to get a couple bicycles and go check out the island. It's about 8.2 miles, I believe, full circle. Okay, so for you newlyweds, lovers, daters, freshly engaged, freshly married, oldly married, don't get a tandem bicycle when you're on the island. This is also referred to as the divorce horse. This is the best way to get into huge arguments. Just get 2 bicycles. Work for us. We're still sort of married. Very easy ride around the island on the bicycles as it's all at water level, so there's no up or down. It's just a real easy ride. We ended up going counterclockwise. That made us going into the wind on the first half of the trip and then had a following wind on the back end of the trip. About halfway around, over on British Landing, there's some park buildings and whatnot, displays, lots of signs to read, lots of things going on. Pretty much just extremely picturesque, neat place to take in. It is a bit windy. You're on a Great Lake, so it is going to be a bit windy, so you might want to bundle up a little bit depending on the weather and all that, but you may want something like at least a windbreaker. Okay, so we ended up renting some bicycles and This is now the first week of October. It's pretty cool out. I think anything cooler than this, you might want to think about that. But we're gloved up. We got some rental bikes. It's an absolute fabulous deal. We are halfway around the island. We're over at British Landing, where the British came in to take over Lake Mackinac during the War of 1812. But quite beautiful. We're looking over across at the Straits, Mackinac Straits, the Mackinac Bridge. So very cool. Definitely worthwhile doing. The one outfit we rented from, they gave us gloves, bottle of water, and map and everything else. So we're pretty well set on that. Fun time. Either rent a bike or bring your own. Here we are on the rented bicycles. We're down on the west side of the island, kind of downwind now on the way back. Might be a little windy on the microphone, but MJ's in the back there, living large. You can see how busy the roads are. Absolutely beautiful time of the year as far as crowds go. So anyway, trucking on down. Fun time on the bicycles. Again, it's pretty windy, but here we are at Devil's Kitchen. Kind of a natural erosion on the west side of the island. And right across, we'll zoom around, there's MJ. Right across is the Big Mac, Mighty Mac, Mackinac Bridge, whatever they call it. So, it's windy. What an absolute spectacular day. Another neat thing about Mackinac Island is all of the fudge shops. Lots to choose from. Take your time. They have all sorts of neat things to check out. One of the unique things about Mackinac is that the topic of bringing the fudge tables to the front of the fudge shops was somewhat of a Mackinac innovation, so folks could see the fudge being made. The folks are very amicable as you visit and all that. Talk to them. They'll talk you up and all that, and probably buy some fudge. Wouldn't be bad. There is a lot of fudge on that island. Day 4 we walked about. This was kind of our massive walk for the day. We ended up putting over 25,000 steps on that day. Quite busy. Pretty much got to see all different parts of the island. Okay, keep talking. I ended up going up to the middle of the island where a lot of the folks live. Saw the second police station that's up there. That is manned, I guess, part of the time. So we're approaching the airport from the west on whatever road this is, and coming along, we ended up taking a shortcut through the woods, walked up through Harrisonville where a lot of the employees and the summer help are billeted. So absolutely beautiful day. Kind of gray. No, actually not gray. It's partly cloudy, but real nice. Airplane just took off. So trucking along, just doing a walk on this one, getting our steps in. Very nice airport, capable of landing small and large aircraft. I believe in the summertime they have some big aircraft come in, but over 150 or so spots for aircraft, so it's quite busy. Very novel way to fly in or visit the island. Very nice terminal, plenty of seating area. Also, there is taxi service back to the mainland or the main town area. Pretty island just to walk about, check out the colors, check out the flora and fauna. Interesting to see some jets sometimes come in. On our way to the crack in the island, there's MJ in the back, picking up the rear, checking out the fence. I think she wants to put that kind of fence back at our place, so it's going to cost me some money, I guess. We're taking the, what is it, the airport fence trail? Airport fence trail, something like that, which is a fence line trail. It's a shorter trail to the crack in the island, and then there's another cave deal going on here. So this is over by one of the golf courses, just kind of moseying around the island. Looks like MDOT is tuning up the AWAS. Must be something broke with it. Double check that when you're coming out. Maybe 40 feet. Ouch. Okay, we're going down on the crack in the island, which I guess I was thinking was a bit more grander than it was, but it's as you can see, it's about 18 inches, 12 to 18 inches here. Just kind of walking along. MJ's back there. Ooh, we got some deeper areas here. That's kind of cool. You can see we're starting to go below land, or the local deal. Coming down. Low. Coming along. Are you having fun? Are you having fun? It'll be fine. Have to go sideways. Gets a little snug here. It's about, I don't know, maybe at the very deepest, 7 feet. Something like that. But it's a fissure. It's a deal. Google it, check it out. Crack in the Island, Mackinac Island. And then you just kind of shuffle along. I would imagine summertime. Oh, there she is. She's having fun. It's a geological thing because of the limestone and stuff like that. All the other various things. And then, about, maybe about 20 yards. 20 yards, you're up and out of it. So, kind of a thing. Again, I expect in the summertime, it's probably crazy busy. And here she is coming out of it. You didn't get too dirty. No. So that's it. That's a crack in the island.
Yep, that's the
This is the cave. This is just on the other side of the, this cave in the woods, just on the other side of the crack in the island. So, blah 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 blah. Water erosion back when this was down at sea level or lake level. So, as the glaciers and all that did their thing. But cave in the woods, another neat place to check out on Mackinac Island. That's not good. Now the trick here is to walk on the trail and not trip while you're doing video. That's kind of the hardest part of this whole deal. But we're coming down from the crack in the island and the whatever the cave was, and heading down back to town. Popped out on Forest Drive, and we are heading back to town, kind of back around by the Grand. And on the map it looks like a big road for Mackinac Island, but it's just a nice pretty road in the lane, in the woods, a little lane in the woods. Back at Windermere again to rest up a little bit before we ventured out for a little evening nosh and refreshment. I keep talking about tourists. Of course, we are them, so to speak. But you will have some tourist boats come in, large cruise boats come in, and you will see them be squared around the island en masse in large wagons, and they'll come through for several hours, do their shopping, see the island, see the sights, buy some fudge, get a t-shirt and all that, and then head back on their boats and head out. Also, as I said before, lots of ore freighters coming through the straits. We stayed at the Windermere. There are several opportunities for lodging all over the place. We were very pleased with it. They had a nice late morning breakfast, coffee, tea, things like that. I think a couple nibbles. The lodging was fabulous. No big TV, none of that, because we really didn't want to spend much time there. We wanted to go visit the island, so it was quite beautiful. Absolutely adequate for what we needed to do there, and I would recommend it. I hate to recommend it because we want to go back and we don't want a bunch of people there, but very nice place, very nice folks, excellent accommodations. Across the way is Windermere Point, which is out on a spit of land there, and you will get to see again all the passings and goings on of the lake traffic and all of that. There's some other things to do. We checked out all the little shops and whatnot. I think we checked out every t-shirt shop, every fudge shop. Just kind of walking the boulevard. Very relaxing. Not a crazy place to, if you're looking for big nightlife, probably not the place. Very easygoing, kind of quiet place. At least when we were there, that time of year. So here we are at the Mustang Lounge, having a good time, kind of kicking back and relaxing. It's got a beer. End of season, it's yep, got another one there. Had a Bailey's. MJ had a Bailey's coffee and Bailey's. So kicking back, a bunch of locals here. End of season, very quiet. Really, I mean, if you really want to enjoy Mackinac Island, this is not a bad time to go. A little cool. Doesn't have all the hubbub and all that stuff. If all the fudge for everybody that wants fudge, but good time. Lots of stuff going on. So hanging out with the locals right now. Catch you guys later. Okay, it's 8:20 on a Wednesday night, first week of October, and so I don't get nailed for music copyright. This is what it's like in the first week of October. So think about it. Day 5, we went down to Jack's Livery. Again, big shout out to those folks. They did a great job. We got drew a nice horse by the name of Chubb. And Tesla has nothing on Chubb. Chubb had the whole automatic kind of program going. If you're intimidated by horses, not a big thing. The horses kind of know the program, so it was a very enjoyable ride. Yes, that's a freighter boat. Okay, here we are. We've got some folks coming, and we've got a ore carrier out on the lake, which is kind of cool, way out there. Big old school ore carrier. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. And we've got Chubb the horse, and we've got the Surrey, the little fringe on the top there. There's MJ saying hi.
Hi.
Loving life.
Not really.
And we got this from Jack's on the island on Mahoney Street. So fun time. Anyway, rocketing around the world at one horsepower. The ride we took went up the west side of the island over to British Landing, then cut across over by the airport, up through some of the woods. Very pretty, very picturesque trip. Here we are trucking along, and we're at the end of the airport over there behind old Chubb. Actually, this is actually a very nice, easygoing trip. There's Chubb, our sturdy steed, and then came down through the Grand Hotel area and back to the stables. Very pleasant, very nice setup. As I said, there's lots of little things to check out, lots of little bistros. If you want to just drop in for a cup of coffee somewhere, piece of pie, little nosh. If you forgot anything, Dowd's Market pretty much probably has anything to help you get through the week. Another neat thing was down by the pier. There's a old wharf area, and one of the shops actually had a little audio-visual setup going. Lots of kind of neat history of the island, things that were going on the island. Day 6, we wandered on down to the Shepler boat ferry with our bags. Nice, pretty day. Gave our bags to the porters there. They got them stowed away. Okay, we're on the line on the Shepler boat back to Mackinac City. See, they've got a queuing area and all that. And then we look out here, and you can see all the folks waiting for the boat. So, just first come, first serve. Loaded up on the boat. Again, we opted to go in the windy section, up on the roof. It was nice and cool. Not terribly uncomfortable, but just nice and windy. A pleasant ride. The boat ride's very, very smooth, so no problem that way. Didn't have any problem with that at all. We were fortunate enough to see another ore freighter going by, which was another cherry on top of the trip. Very neat to see. As I mentioned, it's a bit windy out there, so if you're wearing a hat, you might want to leave that in your bag. And all too soon, we were back at the Mackinac City dock area. Yeah. So here we are at Mackinac City, and everything is kind of closed up. It's coming on the second week of October, and pretty well everything's about half the stuff is closed here. The lighthouse is closed, the icebreaker's closed, and down the mall area, down the center area there, it's pretty well closed. Half of it's closed. Things are pretty quiet. I can't imagine this place in the summertime. It must just be an absolute crush. So anyway, MJ and I are going to go grab our bags and get the shuttle to the airport and take the big plane home. Hoofing it on the powered sidewalks at Detroit Airport. They seemed endless for a while there. Okay, this is the deal. We flew up to Detroit, and then from Detroit up to Polston, Michigan. Then from Polston, Michigan, we took a van, Mackinac shuttle. Then we went from there to Mackinac City, which is on the shore of the lake there. Overnighted there, then went from there to Mackinac Island. Did our thing at Mackinac Island, came back from Mackinac Island. Same program, just backwards. But we didn't overnight in Mackinac City on the way back. We just came on the Shepler ferry, kicked around for about an hour or two, took the shuttle down to, shuttle's just a van, took the shuttle down to Pellston, hopped on SkyWest Delta, then down to Detroit, and that's what we're doing right now, kind of hanging in Detroit, catching up. So, real good trip. I would not hesitate at all to go. I think it's a great time. I don't think I would enjoy going in the middle of the summer when it's high season. It'd be a total crush. Prices would be crazy, and it would be wall-to-wall people. Downside. Upside of the summer, everything's open. Upside of when we went, most everything was open. There were hardly any crowds. Everything was easy to get to. But things are starting to shut down. So I would say first, second, third week of October, keep an eye out for dates and that kind of stuff. And then also you might look at the beginning of the season for when things start opening up. That might be another good time before school gets out and all that. So that's something else to think about. But all in all, a great trip. Highly recommend it. Nice airport, nice people. The locals are fabulous. we are going to try to put together a trip. And again, big shout out to Chuck and Poppins on Restless Viking channel. They kind of gave us the itch to go up to Mackinac Island, but we're going to try maybe to do the Christmas tree lighting or the New Year's, see the turtle come down. So, and it's cold as hell up there when it's that time of year. So, something else we're looking at doing. But we're going to try to also do it flying with a honey badger and do a flying trip. And this is kind of recon for that. Oh, MJ's back. I'm off. So, anyway, get out there, go fly, go check out the world. It's a good time. And high season may not be the best for you depending on where you go, whether it's up north, down south, east, or west. But pick your fights and have a great time. And have a beer.
I didn't even have it on. Well, we got that on video. Chub, what was that?
I'll use that one.